However, if you've played mobile games as of late, you've probably noticed that they just don't feel the same anymore. And I'm not just talking from a place of nostalgia. If you compare an older mobile game to a newer one, you'd think that this game is from 2013 and this from 2025, but no, it's the other way around. And it's not that there's just a couple of bad games, it feels like the vast majority of what is being released today looks like, I don't know, this.
Solve the equation.
Look, I know mobile games weren't ever the pinnacle of peak gaming, but they used to be something. Think of Prime Angry Birds, the absolute phenomenon caused by Flappy Bird. How everyone and their mother played Candy Crush. Then how we used to be glued to our screen trying to beat our Temple Run records. Like, you know those games were very simple in concept, but they were fun, weren't they? Unique, straightforward, and quite artsy. Compare that to mobile games of late and you may just start grieving the way I have. Because the day originality started fading and the ads started popping like you're at a suspicious malware website, mobile gaming started marching towards its tragic fate. Remember the time when mobile games felt different? When the Play Store felt like a vibrant playground of innovation? I do. And if you're like me, you've probably noticed something unsettling over the past few years. The magic seems to have faded. The promise of quick, engaging fun has been replaced by a sprawling minefield of misleading ads, predatory microtransactions, and gameplay so generic, it feels like it was cooked in a lab. The heart those old mobile games had, they just aren't there anymore. And I can think of a good few reasons as to why this happened.
One of the greatest downfalls in history is the downfall of mobile gaming. I remember a decade ago, mobile gaming was amazing. They were consistent hits. I had like 10 great games on rotation. There was Beat the Boss, there was Shark Evolution, there was Flappy Bird. There's so many, like it's literally endless. There was Hill Climb Racing, Fun Run. Back then, mobile games were so good. Nowadays, I cannot name a single good mobile game. And all the good mobile games or popular mobile games are games that existed back then and they're just still going, but their current state is nowhere near as good as it used to be. For example, like Clash Royale. Okay, yeah, it's a cool game now, but back then, prime Clash Royale? Same with Clash of Clans. Like, mobile gaming needs to be studied. There's no good mobile games out there anymore. Subway Surfer still exists. It's not the same as it used to be. It's just, it don't hit the same. It's not the same. Mobile gaming, you genuinely didn't need a console back then. If you wanted a game, you could have a phone and have great games. Now you have to have a console or a PC. Mobile gaming is so horrible now. Mobile game recommendations, if you have any, please, por favor.
Starting off with my biggest annoyance of all, ads. The very elephant in the room, or rather the army of elephants stampeding across your social media feeds. More specifically, I want to address these misleading mobile game ads. The ones they pop up everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, heck, maybe even your dad sees them while scrolling on Facebook. They show impossible physics, dramatic storylines, puzzles that require genius-level intellect, or even full-blown RPG battles that look ripped straight from a console game. Then you download the game, and what do you get? A completely different experience.
Oh, freaking mobile game ad. Wait, this game doesn't look too bad. Hold on. Hold up, this game looks sick! Wait, I'm gonna go download this game right now, and I bet it plays exactly like the mobile game ad. Man, what the fuck?
This isn't even just a minor annoyance. It's just shameless deception. These sensational ads are designed to grab your attention, to appeal to a fantasy of gameplay that simply doesn't exist within the app. They promise strategic depth, intricate narratives, or satisfying problem solving, but deliver shallow, repetitive mechanics that were hidden under ads that they clearly spent more money on than the game itself. We've all seen the ads depicting a hero trying to save a drowning character by pulling pins in the correct order, only to find the actual game is a bland strategy title or an auto-battler. Or the ads showing epic kingdom building with complex resource management, leading to a simple tap-to-build simulator. This whole farce, it's practically a straight-up breach of trust between the developers and the players. And it speaks volumes about the priorities of these companies. They're not selling you a game. They're selling you this fantasy, hoping you'll stick around long enough to get hooked on their monetization loops. Because, of course, money. But we'll get to that in a bit. More stupidly enough, sometimes the games are not even that great in the ads. A lot of ads tend to just be plain rage bait, making the player in the ad seem like some kind of dummy who can't get past level 5. And then you see level 5 and it's literally just you having to do some basic math. Good lord. The goal isn't even to make you laugh. It's there to make you so pissed at the ad that you download the game out of spite. It used to work pretty decently, but I feel like I wouldn't be wrong to say that we, as a collective, are sick and tired of this constant BS. Of course, the harm done by the ads are multifaceted, as sadly, they're more than just some annoyance. Firstly, it wastes our time. We download, install, and often invest a few minutes or even hours into a game, only to discover that it's not what it was advertised. Secondly, it erodes trust in the mobile gaming market as a whole. When every other ad is a lie, how can we discern genuinely good games from the endless garbage? And perhaps most importantly, some of these misleading ads, they often target vulnerable audiences such as children, individuals easily swayed by sensationalism, or those less familiar with the common tropes of online deception.
Infidels, you know not what you say! This game's workings are obvious at first glance! She's a 73, and you're a 12, so she's going to eat you! Meanwhile, I am a mighty 99, so I will pass through her unscathed, and then I will get diarrhea for some reason!
Come on, doesn't that raise like a million more questions for you?
My existence is meaningful!
Oh, dang. This is painful. Ow.
Sorry, it's kind of automatic. Give it a second. There we go.
So, what are you doing after this?
See? I told you this was weirdly horny.
Now, it's one thing to get tricked into some shitty gameplay, but it's another thing now to promote some less than appropriate content to kids with easy access to these apps. The sheer volume of these deceptive, sometimes even sexual ads has led to countless policy violations. Ad platforms like Google and Facebook have tried to crack down, but it's this constant whack-a-mole game. Developers will simply create new ad creatives, new accounts, and continue to push these fraudulent representations. The incentive is too high, and the penalties, it seems, are often too lenient or too difficult to enforce effectively on a global scale. So it will keep coming, much to our utter dismay. Worse, these promotionals aren't even the only gripe I and basically everyone else have on these modern mobile games. Because once you boot up the game and get through one level, guess what you find? A goddamn ad. And I wouldn't care much if they were short and few in between, because hey, developers got bills to pay and not everyone will spend hard cash on games. But holy moly, are these games greedy to the core. You press one button and boom, you're now greeted with a 30-second ad. You push another, soon after, you get slammed in the face with a banner. It's this endless cycle of ads to the point where you know damn well that 80% of your playtime, and that's being generous by the way, comprises of just ad watching. If this doesn't feel like digital capitalism, then I don't know what does. That alone effectively made me steer clear of a lot of these mobile games for the past 3 or so years. They're just a waste of time and a complete way to just shatter immersion. Because what did I even come here for? To see that same car dealership commercial for the umpteenth time, or to actually play?
Torolf Jönstrom, CEO of the mobile game company Tribeflame, giving a talk on monetization strategies for mobile games.
The first spend, it breaks the ice, then they think of themselves as spenders in the game. It's okay for me to spend in the game.
And what he's teaching these other developers is that 98% of players, when they first start playing a free mobile game, will go into it under the premise that they won't be making any in-app purchases. I was one of them. Most likely you're one of them too. But the second that these games can get you to lay down your first dollar, they've effectively broken your barrier. I mean, your willingness to then make further payments will skyrocket.
So you need to break the wall first.
There's a science to game transactions in general. They say you have to convince players to spend even just a single dollar or even less, to get them to ever spend more. Because once these misleading ads have done their job and you've downloaded the game, assuming you've stayed after getting slapped with 33 million ads, you're often greeted by the next major culprit in the decline of mobile gaming: microtransactions. Now, let me be clear here, not all microtransactions are evil. Cosmetics, battle passes in games that offer genuine value, or even reasonable one-time purchases can be acceptable. Some of these wares genuinely have heart and thought put into them, and a good chunk of us are always willing to pay for something sweet and enjoyable. The problem arises when they become predatory, when they're designed to exploit psychological weaknesses and create artificial barriers to progress. Most free-to-play games nowadays operate on a freemium model, where the initial download is free, but the game is meticulously designed to nudge, coax, and sometimes outright coerce you into spending money. This manifests in several primary ways I can think of. There are energy systems wherein if you want to play another level and you're out of energy, you either wait X hours or pay to refill. Hit a wall in the game? Can't defeat that boss or clear that level? Suddenly there's an irresistible offer for a powerful item, a rare character, or a temporary buff that just so happens to be on sale out of nowhere. And this? Oh, I'm very familiar with this. These games also tend to have little gacha mechanics. The ultimate gamble, if you will. Spend real money for a chance at a rare item or character, with the odds often stacked heavily against you. You can spend hundreds of pulls and still end up sulking in the end. This mechanism is so close to gambling that many countries have started to regulate or even ban it. Matter of fact, there have been people and even kids who ended up losing hundreds to thousands of dollars over this. And as I've mentioned earlier, if you refuse to open your wallet, these games will often punish you with an incessant barrage of in-game ads. They literally try to make you mad enough to spend real money just to get rid of those pesky-ass ads. The engineering behind these systems is sophisticated and oftentimes insidious. Developers employ behavioral economists and psychologists to craft experiences that keep players engaged, addicted, and spending. Daily login bonuses, limited time offers, artificial scarcity, and constant notifications all contribute to a feeling of missing out if you don't engage or spend. And the stories of insane spending are plentiful and genuinely heartbreaking. Parents discovering their children have racked up thousands of dollars on in-app purchases, individuals with gambling addictions falling prey to gachapon mechanics, or even casual players getting swept up in the chase for a specific item. This goes beyond poor financial choices now, as it's about game design that actively exploits human weakness for profit, often at the expense of player well-being. But who cares? As long as the companies earn, why bother changing the system that has already benefited them so well? It's one thing for a fun game to be scummy. Now, it's a whole other thing for a game to be both terrible in terms of morality and mechanics. So now, the gameplay itself is the problem. And naturally, this is the most eye-roll part of all this, because even if you somehow manage to navigate the minefield of ads and resist the siren call of microtransactions, you're often left with something profoundly uninspired. Cookie-cutter games that reuse and rehash the same concepts and assets. The vast, lucrative strategy and RPG genres on mobile are the worst offenders. Spend 5 minutes browsing the top charts and you'll see dozens of games with titles like Clash of Heroes, Mythic Kingdom, Dragon Rise, War of the Lords, or Age of Empire Final Saga. Anything along those lines, they're mostly the same anyways. They all feature the same generic 3D assets: a burly, bearded European warrior, an archer, a floating wizard, a castle with glowing resource indicators, and a map filled with dimly lit territories. The developers behind these massive titles, they aren't necessarily making a dozen different games. They're literally just reskinning the same old. Assets are rehashed, and plot lines are basically just the same apart from the names. They take a successful, proven monetization loop, like a complex city builder overlaid with a simpler auto battler or gacha system, and they simply swap out the art and maybe a few mechanics if they're feeling particularly quirky. But hey, at least those games even have a plot to begin with. Very generic, yes, but it's something. Wow, the bar is in hell, but really, at least those overused fantasy games based off of medieval Europe or ancient China, they still had the teeniest hint of depth going on for them. What I would argue to be the real elephant in the room are those cursed voodoo games. Maybe as I'm saying this, it might not ring a bell for some of you, but I think you'll understand the games I pertain to once you see this.
Bye, little monkey, jumping on the bed.
What?
One fell off and bumped his head.
Okay.
Mama got a doctor said.
What you say?
No more monkey jumping on my bed.
Tell him!
Yeah, those games. There's no plot, there's no greater-than-life goal. Just swipe some generic character asset and hope you know how to do basic maths. If you have the intelligence of the average first grader, then congratulations. You can easily conquer these games, just as long as you aren't driven to insanity by the thousands of ads these games will inevitably throw in your way. Like, you might be thinking, but they're simple and straightforward like those classic mobile games from before. What makes them so crappy? If you ask me, those strange, low-quality and low-effort graphics paired with brain-dead mechanics really sealed the deal for me. Because when you look at games from before, sure, there were inevitably dupes here and there as well as some similar mechanics. But take a look at the art styles and the aesthetics. Temple Run and Subway Surfers operate on a similar core mechanic, but you can easily distinguish them from one another. Heck, Candy Crush's biggest dupes from before even somehow managed to look distinct from the OG. But these voodoo games, man, they all look the same with their sickeningly bright assets and swapped out resources. I could be swiping left and right one moment, then another minute, I'm suddenly on some speed dating makeover game. It won't even immediately register to me that those are two separate apps because they're both the same flavor of lifeless and sloppy. Where have those quirky art styles gone? Where are those background songs that actually felt fun and upbeat? Because I swear, even the music design in these games have just gotten pulled out of some copyright-free database.
The repetitive nature of these games means they get boring when played for more than just a few minutes at a time. But each and every one of Voodoo's games are kinda made for this sort of thing. Just a quick way to kill a few minutes. But you know what could do that better? TikTok. Now, I absolutely hate short form content. I think it was able to draw my attention span by 99% after watching only a few hours of YouTube Shorts, and I'd much rather watch something with more time and effort put into it. But as a way to get some quick entertainment while waiting for an appointment or waiting for the bus, I feel like Shorts are way more diverse than playing the same Voodoo games over and over again.
But will these games stop getting churned out? I doubt it. At least, they won't stop for a while because tell me how on earth have some of these games breached tens of millions of downloads? So, frankly enough, as long as people let these crappy games kill their brain cells, these games will continue to run mobile gaming to the ground even further. Hold on though. Mobile gaming might be suffering like hell right now, but in all fairness, it's not that over just yet. Believe it or not, there are still diamonds in the rough. For one, I think indie developers in general as of late have been really popping off in terms of design, music, and gameplay. Some are paid yet priced reasonably, and some are free with minimal ads and microtransactions. I swear, finding one like these every now and then reminds me that not all hope is really lost. That being said, some games I, as well as some of my friends, have concluded to be solid mobile games are the likes of Stardew Valley, the Battle Cats. Just get through the tutorial, I promise. Cats are liquid, because yeah, digital cats are just cool. Cheeky's Chase, and Good Pizza, Great Pizza, just to name the few that I've enjoyed the most. And to be honest with you, there are some gacha games out there that are still really enjoyable and have good storylines, even with the occasionally rage-inducing gacha aspect of it. But alas, there's still a small gambler within me, hence why I still find myself enjoying the likes of Project Sekai and Honkai Star Rail. These games are popular for a reason, so no need to gather our shovels just yet. Because good mobile games are still out there. It's a pity they're not the majority, but we can most certainly give more attention and playtime to the ones that still deliver quality and fun. Ignore the slop and never let yourself fall for those ragebait ads. our precious time is better allocated towards games that respect our time and our desire for something memorable.
The easiest way to put all this is that video games mattered because they didn't matter. Stuff mattered because it was just fun, but it didn't actually matter if you had full diamond gear or the meta weapon or the highest KD. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you're the Minecraft kid, the COD sweat, or the League nerd. We should all be able to have fun in video games. That's literally why they were made, and that's why we started playing them.
The phone in your pocket is a powerful device capable of delivering truly good gaming experiences under the hands of capable developers. We, the consumers, need to let our voices be heard with our wallets and our attention. Stop clicking on the sensational ads. Stop supporting the cookie-cutter clones. Stop letting unoriginal games top the charts. By seeking out and celebrating the developers who prioritize quality and respect for the player, we can slowly but surely reclaim the promise of mobile gaming. The mobile gaming minefield may be dangerous, but the gems are still out there. We just have to look past the lies and really remind ourselves of what good quality is. This is Current Champ once again, and remember, let fun and excitement be the core of your gaming experience, like it always should have been. Peace.
And I'ma just do me. A new thing hold me down on 2 feet. That's 10 toes, bust 4, 5, and 6 foes. Need 2.